Hello everyone, welcome to another stream. Let me just change this because it's going to confuse me. So hopefully there will be some on-screen chat. It doesn't seem to be working at the moment. If someone could post a message and let me know, I might have it in the wrong place. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully the audio, my audio's fine, and I've got a bit of background music. Hopefully that works. I will probably just check on my phone. Music. Hopefully that works. I will probably. So my audio works. That's good. Yeah, so let's just get on with it. So today we are going to build the frame of the Fysetc Voron 0.2 kit. I've done a little bit of rearranging for cameras and setup because I didn't want to stand up for 2 hours or however long we stream for, an hour, 2 hours. So I'm now sitting at my desk. I've got a webcam up here, which hopefully is going to see enough. I will switch cameras. Ah, Lars has posted a message and that has come up on screen. Excellent. So that will mean I can get rid of this. No, that's not going to work. Get rid of that screen and then minimize that, or do that. So I have now got the manual, Voron manual on the screen, and I can see OBS and the chat and everything else. It didn't seem to stay on there for very long. I'm not sure if I can change any of that. Let me just have a look. Hide delay. So if I put the delay up maybe to, let's try there. Let's just try that. So yeah, so as I was saying, I've been working on the setup a bit and move stuff around. So if I go over to the overhead camera, we've got an overhead camera which I can hopefully show you things better. This little mark here is literally so I know where the center is. Don't worry about, because it's a Fysetc sticker. So yeah, let's get into this. So I'm just going to go over to the manual and scroll down to the first step. So I've you won't be able to see, but I've pre-sorted all the rail lengths and put them in their groups so that I can literally just pick them up and I'm ready to go. So the first step is talking about nut traps. Now the kit comes with these things, and I know Cybor is doing these and possibly the other more budget kits, and I'm just not sure that I want to use these, purely because once you start threading into here and then sort of repeated times, that's gonna wear the thread out. Let me just make sure the chat is on this screen. Yeah, it should be. I think that's just going to wear it out. So I have printed, get rid of those. few of the printed nut traps, the longer ones. So I think we're going to go with those. And we'll just see how it goes. So what I've also done before the stream is cleaned and greased the rails. And if I'm just going to turn that light on, maybe that will help with a bit more view. Clean and grease the rails. I use IPA obviously to clean them, just literally soak them overnight, the carriages overnight, and that just gets rid of any factory oil that's in there. And then I use EP2, I think it's called, and I get that from Printy Please in the UK. There's a link in the description if you want to have a look at that. So yeah, so if you've got any messages, put them in the chat and hopefully that will come up on my screen. If I don't respond to a message, let me know. Oh, well, I don't know how you're going to let me know because I'm not responding. I'm just conscious of whether the chat is showing on both screens. It should be, so we'll just go with it. This actually might have a different delay. Oh no, it's the same thing, same chat delay. I think once I've got all these things set up and I know they work, I'll be a little bit happier to know that I can just carry on and stream without sort of trying to make sure things are working. So while all I've got to do is put some hex nuts into these, and they're more or less every other hole. I'm just going to maximize that and just make sure there isn't any chat that I've missed. No, okay. So let's just put some nuts in here. So all of the kit came in little bags. I'm not sure what the QR code goes to. I've not actually tried it. We'll have to try one later. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use these. There's 60 nuts in here. Hopefully that'll be enough. But I'll just do every other, I think. And what you also can't see off screen is I've got a couple of 3D printed hex trays that Steve Fields made, available on printables. I can just put things in there and grab them whenever I need them. So let's populate some of these nut traps. I've not actually tried the nuts in here yet, so oh, perfect. Yeah, fits in there perfectly, and it's slightly below the surface, so that should slide into the thing nicely. So I'll be doing this. Let's get a few over here. How's everyone's weekend going? Okay, so we have to miss 2 at one end so that we have a nut on each end, and then we can just sort of space it out. Really, it doesn't have to be perfect. So they're not as tight in there as they could be, but we'll see how that goes. I think we should be fine. Let me know if the music or anything's too loud. I might just try and move my camera down a bit. Well, I've got I borrowed a Gorilla Pod or whatever they're called from a friend, and they are quite stiff, so it's not very easy to move without risking breaking your camera. Obviously, if we get through the installation or the build and find that we haven't got enough M2 nuts, because I shouldn't have used the nut traps, we'll have to see what we can do. But we should be okay, I think. . yeah, so these are actually a bit loose, but hopefully they'll be okay. Let's just see. Okay. So, like I say, I've pre-organised the extrusions behind me. The kit, because it's obviously the V.2, or the 0.2, it comes with an extrusion top hat, which I'm looking forward to actually, because the top hat on this, although I printed it in one part, is not the greatest print. I mean, it does the job, but I'm quite interested in the extrusion top hat. And what I was going to say, because the kit comes with all the extrusions for obviously the top hat, but it also, even though the bed that is supplied is the full, what they call the CNC metal bed, they've actually included the extrusions for the bed as well. So potentially you've got some extra there if you want to do something with them. The kit comes with an 80mm high extrusion top hat. Potentially, because I've got a Kiriyami bed in that V0 there, I might have enough extrusions from the ones I took out to have a 100mm top hat, but we'll see. I'm not sure. I suspect a few people will be watching the Formula 1 today. I'm not a massive Formula 1 fan. I mean, I sort of watch it, but don't. Well, I watch the occasional one when it's on, but don't follow it like religiously. But yeah, so we might be on our own for a little while. Right, so that's the nut traps done. And we are obviously going to need, so I'm just going to move this over here so that I can see this. So I haven't got the manual on screen purely because like the real estate on the screen was getting a bit sort of low. So yeah, if you wanted to follow along, you'd have to download the manual, but it just talks about cleaning the rails, make sure you've got rail stops in, etc. So first thing we need is the E extrusions. So let me just grab those. So we'll just grab the two that they're sort of asking for. And then we have to have the hole on this side. And then I'm going to put the nuts facing up, I think. Hopefully these fit in. I think I did test fit one earlier and it seemed okay. But I know these can be a little bit tight going in. And it's definitely shaving a very small amount off the side, but that's fine. But yeah, these are going to be a lot easier and a lot safer, I think. So we'll use something a bit more sturdier than that. So I just want to move this on a bit because we've got the hole this side. So let's do this one. I think when I did the nut traps on my other V0, I super glued the nuts in. So that's an option if they're a bit loose, which some of these are. but once they're in the extrusion, they've got no room, so they don't pop out at all, so they're absolutely fine. There we go. I'm just going to change one thing quickly. Just going to change the delay, hide delay on the, there we go. Oh, I wonder, yeah, don't know if that's going to show up, but we'll give it a go. So, right, so we've got those in there. That was the next step. Let's go down. So we need 2 of our rails and M2x6 screws. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you. So this part of the acrylic we're not going to need. But I took the paper off just because I wanted to have a look at the finish of the acrylic, and it's actually a matte finish, which I really like. So that's going to make the whole printer look really nice. This one has got, this V0 has got shiny acrylic, which is not particularly nice, but it'll do. M2 6 socket head. Yep. And then we need 2. So this is for the Y rail. So what I've also done, as well as cleaned and greased the rails, I've just sort of felt them, slide the carriage up and down, and I've sort of matched the ones that I feel the same. So the Y, the 2 Ys, 2 Z's, and then the X, obviously. So I'll just grab these. So these are our, so like I say, I've greased these and these are ready to go. Cleaned and greased, ready to go. So we're going to need the little printed thingies. And what I was also going to do, which I didn't, is grab a ruler so I can measure this thing. So I'll just be a second. And my V0 back here is actually printing the mini stealth burner for this one. So there's still a few bits to print, mostly now panel clips and stuff, but yeah, pretty good. So let's have a look. So I'm just going to put some of these screws in another part of the tray. Not too many because I don't know how many we need. And is this the right size? Yep. So obviously the kit did come with tools, but I'm going to use my wearer Allen keys because that's why I bought them. So yeah. So where does the probably tell us on the next page? Yeah. So basically we've just got to put these on here. Oops. And then obviously put the screws in to where the nuts are. And I guess we've got to hope that we don't have any failed nuts. So what I would do is put them all in a little bit first, and then we'll come back and tighten them once they're all in. And obviously we've got to remember to have a rail stop in there, so we don't want to lose the rail, or the carriage, sorry. So I haven't seen any chat come up. I don't know if anyone has posted a message. If you could just, someone post a message, just let me know that everything's working all right. So while we can still sort of move this a little bit, we'll get it to where we need to do. So on the manual, we want the end with the hole in, and then even though I did put this here, I haven't actually. So the end with the hole in here, we want 38 millimeters to the end, from the end of the rail to the end of the extrusion. And I'm just going to use this ruler basically. Oh, and because I haven't got Spotify Premium, you're going to have adverts. So sorry about that. So that's 38 exactly there. And then what I do, and this, I think I've probably picked this up. I'm just going to check to see if we've had no chat messages. No, we haven't. What I do, and what I probably picked up from someone else's live stream, is to tighten from the middle and then go either way. So should I be putting Loctite on these? No, nothing telling us to put Loctite, so I'm not going to. I honestly can't remember if I did on the previous V0. So what do other people do? Do they put Loctite on their rail screws? Obviously we don't want to tighten these down too much straight away. So we don't want to ruin any threads in these nuts. So I think that's probably enough, to be honest. So yeah, we just do the exact same thing for this one. And that still runs nicely. Did anyone else watch any of the Rocky Mountain Rap Festival stuff on YouTube and then think that they want to go to whatever is the closest Rap Festival to them? So for us in the UK, we've got Smurf coming up, the Sanjay Mortimer Rap Festival. So that's in December in Oxford, which is basically where E3D are based. I hope to attend, if not really for the only reason to see some of the people from the community, see quite a few of the bigger YouTubers are going to be there, and then obviously the people from the Brexited and other UK channels on the Discord. Don't know if anyone else is planning to go. Hard to see which one's got a... I think that one's got one in. Soon find out. Yep. And then this one. So like I say, before we tighten them down, we need to get our 38mm. Do that. A little bit more. Perfect. So with wearer drivers, they have a ball end on one end and a non-ball end on the other. So you're better off for tightening things with the non-ball end, because you can, I think you're more likely to slip or to round the thing off if you use the ball end. That one's quite loose. And as I said, you don't want to go too tight on these. I think that's probably enough. So that's the first, the Y rail's done. So let's have a look at the next page. So we've got to put some end caps on, basically. We put those on the end that hasn't got the hole in. So it's basically some M3/8s we want. So in the last stream, the unboxing stream, I hadn't decided on what accent color I was going to be doing, and I believe it was Andy's 3D World suggested a fluorescent pink. Now, I haven't gone for a fluorescent pink, I wouldn't call it, but we have gone with pink, and I think pink with the Prusament ASA, Galaxy Black ASA, looks quite nice, gives a good contrast. So we just want a couple of these. The one thing I haven't checked is whether these holes need to be enlarged a bit. No, that's fine. Let's have a read of the instructions. So the instructions are basically talking about, they don't call out the nuts, that's because you can still put them in, which is good. Talking about the no nut drop mod. Now the problem is these rail extrusions are not the same as what I think is the extrusion for the no nut drop. So what I might do in a future stream is that my light is a bit offset from the camera, so I'll probably move that light this way a bit, and then hopefully I'll be able to put the stuff under the light and the camera at the same time. So yes, we need some presumably M3 nuts. So let's get some of them out as well. That was more than I was planning, but and then these are hex nuts, so these sort of go in sideways almost. So I don't know sort of how long I'll be streaming for today, but I want to try and get the frame done, and then depending on what the time is, we'll either do some prep for the next part, or just call it a day. We'll see. So yeah, that pink does look quite nice. It's a little darker in person than it is on camera. Maybe you'd even call it like a ruby red, not a ruby red, a raspberry red. But it's quite nice, I think. I think it will look quite nice. So yeah, you just got to basically tighten this stop down against the rail. And that's just basically so the carriage doesn't come off. So we could lose this rail stop and now the carriage can't come off. But we'll leave it on there just for now. So let's have a look at our next step. So we're basically doing the Z rails now. So we're getting all the rails ready for when we then put the frame together. So I want the C extrusions, 2 of, and there is only 2 of. And yep, so these have holes at both ends, the same distance apart. So we've just got to put our nut traps in basically. And then obviously we'll put it in the right place a bit later. Oops. So even though I've printed 5 nut traps, we won't actually need all 5 because we're using the Fysetc CNC X rail, and that's a threaded rail. Hello Richard, that's okay, you're allowed to go shopping with the wife, don't worry. Haven't missed a lot. We've just basically started mounting linear rails to extrusions. And I've sort of just mentioned that we're having a pink accent colours. Yeah. Excuse me. If you can let me know if audio and music volume is okay, Richard, that'd be good. So next step. Yeah, so we just basically mounting these on, and then got a distance on the next page. So again, I'll just grab the Z rails. Be careful I don't run over my microphone cable. So let's grab some of these. And again, we'll have adverts in the music because I haven't got Spotify Premium.
Yes, we're at home. Lovely. I've just checked the ticket and I can confirm you are now millionaires. No! Yes.
Hopefully that's not a problem with YouTube, but we'll see. Brave. I mean,
rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
It's only accent colour pink, but I think it looks quite nice. I wanted something a little bit different. I certainly didn't want to do a red and black, although there's nothing wrong with it because obviously my 2.4 is red and black, but I wanted just something a little bit different. And because the filament was incredibly cheap, I thought, well, we might as well. You are allowed to stream Spotify. Cool. I mean, the music is fine because it's like royalty free from someone that specifically said you can do it. I just wondered if the fact that there was adverts in it was going to be a problem, but at the end of the day, the channel's not monetized anyway, so it's not like I'll be losing anything. I actually had a previous stream, we'll do the distance in a second. The previous stream was sort of marked, actually we'll do it first, as copyright. Even though the music was copyright free, they still sort of tagged it or something. I didn't really understand it. It didn't really affect anything because, like I say, the channel's not monetized, so it doesn't really change anything. So these have got to be 33 millimeters from the end of the rail. So that should be there. Hello, Maker Viking. Nice to see you. I think the pink will look good. I probably will redo, so that was the display mount. I probably will redo the display mount in the dual color STL. Oops. The mini stealth burner behind us, this printer now, I've done the version that you stick on the front of the logo pieces. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, so the two color STL with, obviously, I mean, I could go through the process of actually getting an MMU type device to work, and so I could do it that way. But you can also do it without an MMU, where you basically print one part and then print the other part. Yeah, I think the pink does go well with the black. And because well, I'm hoping that the rest of the panels are like this, where they're a matte finish rather than glossy. So I think that will look even better. Before I chose the accent colour, I was tempted to do everything black, like full stealth black, but I didn't in the end. I think with just a little bit of colour, it will look much better. Does anyone, any of the UK folks got anything planned for the bank holiday weekend this weekend? And then we'll have another one next weekend for the King's coronation. I haven't particularly got anything planned. Just see how the day goes, I suppose. So again, we need 33 from the end, and that is actually spot on 33. Whoa. What I might have to do is change the colour of the font, because I can't quite see what that says. So let me just, I don't think it will change. No, it won't. So what I will do, let me just read what you're saying. Pink goes with the black. Thomas and Lars saying hello to each other. Let me pull that out. How did you find the smoothness of the rails? Off all week. Oh, nice. Right. I'm glad you brought that up. So initially, the rails were very smooth. Oh, well, I say very smooth. They weren't crunchy or anything like that. Felt really good. Straight out the pack. Cleaned them up. You then tend to have it a little bit more rough because obviously you've cleaned all the oil off. And there was one particular rail that I felt was different from all the others. The other, how many have we got? 5. The other 4 were fine. One of them just felt a little bit different. And I actually turned, obviously if you turn these over, you can see the balls between the rail. And from what I could see, it was actually missing a ball on one side. So this was pre-greasing anything. This is out of the IPA. And then there was, from what I could see, one ball missing. Didn't get any spares, and I haven't got any spares in that size because I've either got MGN 12 or bigger. I suspect it will be, Lars. Yeah, I suspect that'll be on the news for 3 or 4 days, I reckon. So yeah. However, now that they're all greased, they actually all feel pretty much the same, and it was interesting to see. I know some people bring this up sometimes on the V0, that the X carriage is a little loose, and I know that was a little bit of an issue on some LDO kits. I think this one has a little bit of a wobbly carriage on the rail, but these all feel really tight, or there's no wobble. So yeah, so the rails are all actually really good. I think there's one that has a missing ball, and I only say that because the gap looks like it's bigger on one side than the other. But now now they're all greased, they all feel pretty good actually. Yeah. So that's them done. Maybe they are preload Z1. Interesting you should say that. So I was looking at the, and I very much doubt you're going to be able to read this on there. But the text, don't mind my blue Z, that's me put that. So the code on the actual rail is SRN7H. So it's obviously a 7mm rail with an H carriage, and then it's 150 the length Z0. So I think they're actually a Z0 preload. I'm gonna just make a couple of changes quickly. I'm gonna change the text color because I can't quite see it, and if I can get a nice red, and then I'm just going to increase the font size a bit so that I can see what you're saying. So let me just bring this up over here. I went to upgrade my LDO V0 to Highwind rail like the 0.2 kit includes. Unfortunately, the UK 3D stores, guys, are not stocking at the moment. The problem, I think the problem is, Richard, with Highwind stuff is that it's just so expensive for the smaller retailers to make an order, I guess. I don't know. Right, let's go to the next page. Right, so we've now got to put, just go back a page. We've got to put an end stop on the bigger end, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Do them. I guess it's just a matter of, yeah, Highwind's really expensive. I've been happy with the LDO stuff. So, yeah. I mean, I've not personally had an LDO kit. The only LDO stuff I've got is a Kiriyami bed. But, yeah. The 2.4 kit that I got from Cybor was a Highwind rail for the X-axis. Are you maybe able to order it directly from a UK Highwind distributor, or yeah, you know what I'm saying? Can you order it directly yourself, or is it better to get it through a third party? I want to Gucci my V0 which is why I'll use LDO for my veneer kit. Core XY. I'm not happy, to be honest. I know Adam from Vector 3D does a few things with LDO. I guess it's interesting to see LDO, who were primarily a stepper motor company, now doing other aspects of 3D printing. I maybe not looked into it, been begging the cat man. Keep begging. Right, what are we doing now? So we've got to preload some nuts. Okay, so we need B extrusions to skip those. Two of those. And these are extrusions with no holes, but tapped on the ends. We want an M310, so put some of these in a hole. Oops. See, what I would have liked to have got a sparkly ABS accent colour. What are you unhappy about, Richard? What was I say? Oh yeah, a sparkly accent colour ABS, but the Catman, I didn't want, like I said, didn't want red, and the purple wasn't dark enough for me. I like a darker purple that he's got, and then his second batch, which is still going to be like 4 to 6 weeks away, is too long to wait. So possibly the pink will change later. I don't know, we'll see. So we need to put, let's have a look, let's read this. 2 additional drink so I can read this. Insert 2 additional M3 nuts into the highlighted slot between the ones added to affix the M36. This will be used to attach the Z mount a step later. That sounds like the V0 is just finished. So let's put some of these on the ends first. Actually, we probably need to put the nuts in first, don't we? So I'm probably being a bit thick here, but I can't understand what it's saying. So we obviously need at least 2. Sparta 3D has good Sparta ABS and ASA Polymaker. Yeah, so the Sparta 3D, I believe, is the same as what... Oh, not unhappy with my LDO kit. I think the filament that the Catman gets is from, well, I don't know, but the spools look very similar to the Sparta 3D stuff. And then we want a couple of these. M36, was that what these ones were? M310. M38s. We've got M36. It's too many screws. M36. let's not get too many of these out, because I don't think we need too many. So the top rail just needs, I think we just need to put these in here basically. And these are just to help with the nuts, I believe. And we'll put 2 of these in, 1 of these in each end. I have an LDO back because finished the build, streamed the first part of the build, but I had back pains, which yeah, I don't know what your setup was, Maker Viking, but I found standing up to do a stream really hurt my back, so that's why I've moved everything to try and have a sitting down stream. So yeah. Right, so this looks like this extrusion needs 4 M3 nuts. I have a sample filament PM sparkle orange, but a bit lacking in sparkles. Yeah, I suppose if you're going to have sparkles, you want quite a lot of sparkles, don't you? I tell you what, the sparkliest filament I've ever printed with was a Protopasta, and my god, that was sparkly. There was more sparkles than there was filament. It was amazing. I saw, Richard, that there's well, we knew that there was going to be a filament PM reseller in the UK, but they've just got they just haven't got a lot, have they? The colours just aren't enough, which is why I ended up looking for and buying this cheapest spool of pink ABS I could to be able to do this with. And when I say cheap, it was £12.99 delivered. Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you see, Maker Viking. Yeah, see, I really like my V0 because, so the mount for the webcam up here I made in Tinkercad in like 10 minutes. And I wasn't overly sure on all the sizes and everything, and I just sent one to the V0 and it was really quick to print so that I could iterate for the next version. I think that's the real advantage of the V0. The only problem with this V0 is that the thermistor in the silicon bed failed, so I added a thermistor to the actual aluminium bed, which means that the temperature, it takes a little bit longer to heat up because it's reading actual bed temperature. Right, we've got to put some stuff together. Read the next 4 pages before continuing. To keep assembly images consistent and easy to follow as possible, we will be showing them in an upright orientation. For ease of assembly, we recommend assembling the Z-axis laying down. So this is going to go like that. And then we're going to be doing our thingies. Yeah. Okay. So basically this is going to go like this. This is going to go like this. And this is going to go like this. And I will use that one at the back to support it. The V0 is a good printer. Yep. Yeah, so we can basically now, so I might have to find another Allen key because the wearer with its insulation around it or whatever doesn't fit in the hole. So let me see if I can find one. Is that the right size? No. Make it like I saw that. Yeah. This one does fit. Let's try this one. Okay. Okay, so this is a blind joint, isn't it? So we need to put this through here, like that. We'll just tighten them down just to stop them moving about. There we go. Yes, the kit did come with tools. Did it come with Allen keys? I can't remember. Oh yeah, they're in here. Yeah, it did come with, it came with some tools, and I should probably use them in this case. Only because this one is just a cheapy one, but the tool now rotates around the handle, so you can't actually tighten anything up. So that is pretty useless. So yes, good point. We'll use these. Just make sure this is the one we want. Yep. Should have two. Yep. Next page. Direct drive or Bowden. If you're planning on running a Bowden setup, preload an additional 2 for the total of 5 M3 nuts into the marked position. These can be used to mount the Bowden extruder. This call out means number. So we need 3 M3 nuts in each side, basically. Oh, they weren't tight enough. Try that again. So we want M3 nuts basically, so we want 3 in each side. And nothing should fall off, we hope. So these shouldn't fall through because of the screw that's down there, but we'll see. So if you joined a bit late, I haven't got any no drop nut things printed because the ones on the the GitHub for a different extrusion, and I could have printed some modded ones, but I didn't. So we now need to put on this end, basically. Let's turn that around. So obviously we're not too worried at the moment about distances and everything. So we're just pretty much just getting things in their positions, so then we can then tighten it up a bit later. Oops. Okay. Just so I know what's what, let's put that back at the top. So these two extrusions are not part of the final assembly, but are temporarily used to square up the frame. So we want 2 H extrusions. Or the 2 H extrusions, I should say, which is these two. And these are just basically used to help with getting this in. It would help if I put them the right way around. So we want the holes to basically be on the outer side so that we can thread the extrusion through, and then we have a hole that we can put our tool through. A little bit tricky.
This is Metallica with their incredible new album, 72
Oh, Metallica advert. It's alright. We'll put up with that advert.
Metallica, 72 Seasons, the new album. Listen now on Spotify.
So I'll just get these roughly in place first before we start tightening things up. I think I might just try and change up the music a bit to what they call the rock one, if I can find it. There we go. I would call this rock, but there you go. Sorry if you can't see this, I'm just trying to get a few things lined up ready for... Okay. So basically what we want to try and do is to get things sort of 90 degrees and lined up and everything. And then obviously we're doing that on a reasonably flat surface. Oops. I think I've seen someone, when they've done this before, is that they've sort of used another piece of extrusion to sort of push against, so that we can get this corner flat. We'll tighten that up, and hopefully that's sort of right. And then we'll do this one. And then obviously do the top as well. Here we go. Okay. So what we're going to need to do now, I think, is yeah, I've sort of done that bit already. Right, so now this is where we want to get some distances set up. So let's undo these. So these can all move around a bit. These should hopefully be 90 degrees. And we want 58 mil from the ends, and that is between the extrusions. That's, oops, that seems quite a lot. Yeah, 58. So we'll just sort of temporarily put that there, just so that we can check it. That one looks okay. So we'll do this one next. This is also 58 from the end. We'll do the other end. And I'm sure there are jigs, printable jigs for this, but we'll just try it like this for now. Because there's a whole process we'll go through in a bit for getting everything lined up correctly. Next page. Okay. But now it wants us to put one one end on, which will be this one, I believe, because this side has an end stop, and you can't see what I'm talking about. So this one will have an end stop, so this one needs a rail stop, basically, or a carriage stop. Like that, basically. So the next part of the manual is about assembling the bed. Now we've got a one-piece aluminium bed, so we don't need to do any of this. Where do they talk about? So, if you have the Kiriyami bed, you can attach it now. Skip to page 43. So we don't have a Kiriyami bed, but we do have an aftermarket bed. So I'll just grab that, if I can remember where it is. Over here. So it's in this box. So I'm not sure what other, not sure what out of that hardware we need. I don't think we need any of that. So I'll just put this on the main screen so we can have a look at this. Well, that's a bit pointless. Let me go back to that overhead cam. So yeah, so we've got this one-piece aluminium bed with Fysetc engraved in the front. So how do we actually put this on? So we'll be using M28 because we're going on top of, we're basically going onto the rails, aren't we? We're going onto here, like this. So let's find those. M28s. Some nice small ones. Is that the ones we had earlier? Let's have a look. No, they were M36s. M28, is it? Yep. Stock ahead. So, how many do we want? 8, I assume. Use thread locker. Carefully apply a small amount of thread locker to the screws. Okay, so I've got this thread locker, Loctite 248. It's like a prick stick, if anyone knows what that is. So I'll get enough out to do 2 each side to start with. That'll probably be this little Allen wrench we want. So this is the bottom. This is the top. So we don't want too much of this stuff, I don't think. Probably would have been better to try and put that on. No idea how that's going to work, but we'll see. So we'll try and get this threaded on a little bit. We'll try and get the opposite side on so that we can have it secured a bit. The only problem with the V0 is it's so fiddly put together compared to, say, the 2.4. So that just keep putting screws in basically until we find out we've gone too far. Go through a couple of pages and just make sure we're sort of doing what we should do. Yeah. So we're basically just putting the bed on. Now obviously this is a different bed to the stock bed, but seems to run really smoothly. So I might have actually lucked out and got stuff in the right place first time. And I'll have to make sure I keep an eye on the stream that we are actually live, because it cut out last time. So I might just quickly make sure we are live. Go to the YouTube dashboard. Just make sure we're all still here. It's taking a little while to load up. So hopefully we are still live. It says we are. Yeah, still says we're live. Excellent connection, so that's good to me. So I'll just keep going. So yeah, we're basically just putting the bed on at the moment with a smallish amount of thread locker. It's quite hard to actually put a small amount on.
Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? The incredible new album from Lana Del Rey.
Bit of free advertisement for Lana Del Rey here.
Listen now on
So
Spotify.
I'll now tighten these up a little bit.
Metallica.
Although this is probably
New album, 72
the
Seasons.
crappiest Allen key there is, so we won't use that. We want to sort of try and, if we can, tighten things up evenly. So we try and do opposites
The new album. Listen now
on the
Spotify.
4 screws, and then I'm also obviously doing 2 on each carriage first. We'll just make sure it's still smoothish. Yeah. We'll keep tightening up. Metallica. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be allowed to stream that. We know what their reputation is with streaming services. Having said that, obviously you can listen to their and whole of their album on YouTube, so you don't actually have to pay for it anyway. So we can actually take these little rubber bits off, because we've now got sufficient stops in place that it wouldn't better come off if it wanted to. So it's not completely free runner, so we might have to make a few adjustments, and they're now on the next few pages. So basically what it's saying is it wants us to undo, let me get this into view, so we undo this one, so go the right way, and then basically we undo these 3 basically, like that. And obviously we've kept this one locked and fixed. So then what it wants us to do, so tramming, loosen the 3 screws and bring the bed assembly all the way to the bottom. Now that the Z-rails are properly spaced and the bed assembly in position, tighten screw number 1. So I'm just gonna, probably shouldn't have done that. So we'll bring this down here, and then it wants us to tighten this one up. And ideally we want to make sure that that doesn't go too far down. So we've tightened that one up, and then it says basically take the bed all the way to the top. So we're a bit loose. Moving the bed assembly to the top, ensure that the Z extrusions are perpendicular to the frame, and then tighten screw 2. This should be, set the extrusion station at the top of the rails. So because screw 2 is this one, I'm just going to measure what this gap is. So this is still 58, which is where we wanted it. So let's see what this one is. So this one's a little bit out. So let's get this one back to 58. And we'll tighten this one down. It does feel as if it's binding a little bit up the top here. But what we want to do is get this one, we'll see what distance this is. And we'll tighten this one up. That feels fairly even all the way along. I don't know how well you probably can't hear that, but that feels okay, feels good. Everything's still flat on the table. And that feels like it moves okay. So I'm quite happy with that. So next page, basically it's check for any binding or snags while moving the bed carriage up and down. The bed carriage must be able to move freely along the entire length of the rail. If not, loosen the blind joints on the Z extrusions and repeat the steps from the previous page. And then it just basically talks about even more tramming. Do one last check to ensure the bed carriage is smooth motion, no binding. So it doesn't bind at all. You know, I'm not pushing it that hard at all. So that, and obviously you wouldn't want to pull it from here because the Z carriage or the Z screw will be from here. So that feels fine to me. So we now have to put, so let me put this bit of extrusion back before I forget. So we're now doing the end stop switch, the one and only end stop switch on a V0.2. So I just need to find that. Here it is. So everything in the Fysetc kit is basically pre-wired, terminated, got labels on and everything. So we then need our printed part, which is this bit here. I think. Bit stringy, but that's fine. So we basically now need to install this, obviously the correct way around and with the correct hardware. So let's get that out. And we want the M210 self tappers, which are here. M2 self tappers. We need two of them. So now what I would be tempted to do is just although I think the holes are quite well sized, so we should be okay. Just need to get a screwdriver to do them. This might be, this one might fit. Let's see. Yep, that should work. So according to the picture, we have it this way round, and we want the lever here on this side. Now obviously we're only screwing into plastic, so we don't want to go too tight on these. Just enough to obviously hold the switch tight, like that, and that clicks nice, so that should be good. So we now want to put this on, and that goes here basically. I wonder which way the cables go. I wonder if they go on this side. So this basically is going to go here, like that. So we want an M38, which should be, did I have to get those out earlier? M310, M38. I think that's these ones. I will just double check. Get my handy 3D printed tool out. Yeah, so this is an 8 and an M3. And then obviously a nut. And what I'll do is I'll put this on here and then thread it up to the thing. So what does it say? So we basically want this flush with the bottom of the rail. Oops. Whoops. So I was just bringing it this side so that I can, I'm right-handed, so I need to tighten it up with this hand basically. And again, don't want to go too crazy on tightening it up. That should be enough. And then the next page, so we basically want to move the bed down, and we hear it click. So that's that bit done. So we're now going to remove these side extrusions, and we're going to preload some nuts. So let's do that. There we go. It's actually easier to do this on the edge of a table where you can't see, so might have to make some adjustments to the camera for the next stream. There we go. Still moves nice. Let's put these back where they were. These were H rails. and we need to preload some nuts on the back edge of here. So we want 2 preloaded nuts in the top, M3 nuts this is. One, 2. Move those on. There we go. 2 of them, and then another metallic advert. 1 in the back, like that. And then 2 preloaded in the back bottom extrusion.
Metallica, 72 Seasons, the new album. Listen now on Spotify.
Like that. So we've got our 2 on the top, 1 at the back, and then 2 at the back. This sounds like a bit like Doom, doesn't it? Okay, so now we need to put 2 M3 nuts in the bottom. If your MCU does not supply 5 volt to the Raspberry Pi, you'll need to mount a 5 volt power supply source. Add additional nuts into the slot to provide a secure mounting point. So we shouldn't need those. So what I'm going to do is try and lay that down like that without losing any. And then add 2 M3 nuts in to the bottom. This definitely sounds very Doom-esque, as in the game Doom. This little Allen key that came with the kit I've already bent, as you can see. So now we want our E extrusions. So 2 of those will be our Ys that are over there, and then we need 2 from over here. So that'll be these 2. So, trying to think the best way to orientate this, because we obviously need to. Well, this, oh, that has got a hole. So this hole will go like this. Thanks for stopping by, Maker Viking. Have a good week, rest of the weekend, whatever you're doing. So I reckon we'll be better off standing this up a little, because once we start putting these extrusions on, we're going to have a little bit of support anyway. So I still don't know quite where that end stop cable is meant to go. So what I'll do is I'll just basically hold this rail like this, and then try and find where that thing is. Which is not the easiest thing to do, is it? I think that's that. Yeah. So we'll just tighten this up enough to sort of hold itself. We don't want to go too crazy. We'll do this side as well. Again, holding this. Get that sort of about there. There we go. So that's now sort of holding itself up basically, because we've got those long extrusions holding it up. We basically need to do the same with the Y rails. So the Y rails will have this stop at the front of the printer. I'm not sure if, actually what we'll probably do is try not to lose any nuts. Flip this all the way over. Hold this again. And then we can tighten up this this extrusion. If I can find the nut, the screw even. So I suspect we'll be given a measurement in a second of what distance this needs to be. I'll just move that one out of the way. So again, rail on the inside, carriage stop at the front. So I don't really know the best way to hold it, so I'll just hold it there for a second. We'll go to the next page. So we now need basically M310s in, okay, it basically can hold itself there now. So M310s in the front of each of these. And sort of thread lock has not been called out too often, so I haven't been putting it everywhere. I think you can pretty much decide for yourself where you want thread locker if it's not called out. I think when I did the frame for the 2.4, I put it where it asked for it. Probably should be putting some on the frame, but I'm not. Yeah, so I maybe haven't tightened these up quite as tight as I should have just yet, because they're moving on me, but just move this around so we can put some more in. But we'll obviously we'll be putting some extrusions on here in a second, so this will all sort of straighten itself up. There we go. So we now need those H extrusions back, and they will make our back of the printer. So again, look for where your blind joint holes are. Make sure these are screwed on a bit better. So this is basically the back of the printer. And I think these are going to be in line. It appears they are. So again, we'll just get these on loosely before we sort of move stuff around. I should probably have this up the other way so that we're not resting on the rail carriages. There we go. So again, put this one on. And we'll just tighten this up a bit. Before we find the final resting place for it. There we go. Okay, let's see if there's any. Right. So we do need a key piece of information here. So this gap between here and the very end should be 37. And I would say that is pretty much spot on. We might have to make a small adjustment. So I can move this over for you a bit. So we just loosen that a touch. I will grab this so that I can then hopefully sort of get these two lined up. So I can tighten this up like that, and then we'll measure this distance. So we're looking for about 37. So 5, 6. So we're looking for about there, I think. So that has a tendency to move. Bit of a fiddly job. Who's that? Nick. Need to do something with a background on the text so I can see the actual message. We actually need to go this way, touch. Let's try and keep stuff where it's meant to be. It's sort of moving when I'm tightening it up. Not far, but it's moving enough to sort of make it a little bit away from where it should be. So that's ideally where it should be. I think I got it that time. Yeah, that's good. So we've basically got to do that for all of the corners. Let's do this one this side. What we'll do is we'll undo this one slightly so we can get our these parallel. Like that. And then if we undo this one a bit, we can get our 37 distance again. So let me see. I think that's about there. Move that around so I can get in a better position. See where that ended up. That did move a little bit on us. Tightening that up. Check that. Yeah, that's better. So basically now do that for the bottom as well, I assume. Yeah, I'm going to assume we do the bottom as well at this point. Hopefully no nuts are going to fall out. That's slightly pulling that away, so we want to try and get this as flush as we can without it good. And then again, try and get our .30mm, 37mm different distance. So 35, 36, 37 is about there. Oops. Where did that go? There it is. The case of the disappearing Allen key. Right, let's try and get a distance again. Pretty much where it is, if we can get it to stay there. Yep. We'll just try and get this a bit more even. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And we need to just slightly adjust this side. Yep, that's pretty good. So that should be the distances it asks for pretty much set. Make sure we're still moving okay. Yep. Okay, now we need a deck panel and the cable chain bit. So let me find the cable chain. I saw that earlier somewhere. There. And also our deck panel. So let's take the paper off this first, and we'll have to make sure we get this the right way around. So it goes that way around. And if anyone ever built an ANET A8, you know how annoying this paper stuff can be on acrylic. So it's a nice matte panel, which is nice. Coming off not too bad though. They tend to rip where they come to the corner, the worst part. And take both sides off. For my first printer lasted 4 weeks before selling and going to an ender. I have a problem, Richard, is I don't sell many printers. So I've technically still got my first printer, albeit in bits in a box, and that was a Printerbot LC, which is a wooden framed printer. So that was my first printer, and then shortly after that I got another Printerbot Metal Plus, and I've still got that as well, again in bits, but I've still got it. Right, so we've now got our Z chain, so we have to make sure that we get this the right way round. So let me try and work out which way that is. Oh, does this go? Okay, so this goes on the extrusion. So they actually show it as being this part. I guess because it's going to... Oh, I'll tell you what, also, just don't have room, yeah. So because we sort of skipped some pages because of the bed, I haven't put on the part that goes on the bed yet. So I'm going to just come back some pages, and I better put that on. So I need a special piece for the Fysetc kit, which is an STL they provide, and let's try and work out where we put this and with what screws. So this is saying M316, so let's find them. So that's those. Yeah, I don't have the room either. That's why they're sort of disassembled, to be honest. Occasionally I do rebuild one and have a play around with it. So I rebuilt one of the printer, well, actually I didn't rebuild it because it came assembled, but I've got a Printerbot. Oh, now I'm trying to think what the full title is. Maker Edition, but I don't know if there was another bit of info with that or not. I can't remember. Now, see, this doesn't really make sense which way, although we can change which way round things go, can't we? So that would probably keep it. So if I take this off, can that go the other way round? Yes. So I think that's how I want it. What I don't want is stuff to flop about. So I think I need to put this bit on this side. I don't think this goes up any particular way. So that will go through there. And obviously the holes in the aluminium bed, CNC bed, are tapped, so we can screw straight into there. Let me just lift this up a bit. There we go. So we'll also now we'll go back to the page we were on, so that we can put on this bit. So this will basically go, so the bed now goes the opposite way, doesn't it? So that should be right, I think. And when I say the opposite way, I mean than the original, the first V, or the 0.1. Let me just change this. Just trying to get this plastic bit off without anything breaking. There we go. So this bit now goes with two M38 button heads. I think we've had them out already. Is it these ones? Or are these 10s? I think these are 10s. They are. Too many packets. Ah, they're the big bag. Is it these then? Yes, it is. We want two of these, and then presumably we'll want some nuts for them to go into. There's another Richard arrived. Finished my build of the 2.4 and not without a few issues. So thanks to Rush and Stipper, first of all, pretty fast looking at Trident or Veto point now. Yep. You can never, it never ends with one, I'm afraid. You always end up with another printer. So I wonder if these are going to be too long, but we'll see. I think, personally, if I had the space, I'd probably get a Trident. But because I haven't got the space, that's why I've got a 0.2. So I'm not sure how high we're supposed to put this. Oh, it looks like it goes all the way to the bottom. So I can just do that and then tighten them up. Let's move this bed out of the way. Let's just tighten them up there and just see if that does actually go where it's meant to go. Okay, I don't have the space and I'm getting a 2.4. Well, Well, I don't know what you're going to do there then, if you haven't got the space. Right, then we put the deck panel in. And the deck panel just basically sits in the frame. Like that. So I have put the end stop wires on the underside of that, basically. Right, let me try and catch up on chat. So someone got the V0 first, then the 2.4, and is also now talking about a Trident. Yep. I'd probably, it's the sort of thing you go for the biggest one you can fit, I guess. Because although if you've got a 2.4 already, then you're okay for build volume. Right, so we've got to preload some nuts. So we want 3 in the side. Three in this side. Oops. Where did I put them tweezers? Whoa, wall of text. I suppose you're all talking to you amongst yourselves, so I'll leave you to it. 3 in there, and then we need to put some in the bottom. And these will obviously be for the bottom panel. We have a bottom panel on here now. So we want 4 in each side. Is that right? No. Yes. 3 on the side, 4 on the bottom. I'm sort of almost also thinking about the printer for ants, because I quite like. I don't necessarily need a big big printer now, because I've got the 2.4. Even though it's only a 300, the printer for ants look quite good. Yeah, Micron or salad fork, or yeah, I think I would probably do a salad fork. Oops. Go on, here we go. So 4 on the bottom, 3 on the side. Next page. More. Okay, so we now need 3 on this side. I would love to watch a build stream of that. One day, maybe. So the thought for me if I went small, as it's Trident, yeah. So we want 3 in this side extrusion. You're not seeing any of that. So we're putting 3 in here. When is your first YouTube video going to be then, Richard? Both Richards, in fact. Why not? Is it going to be your cyborg, meeting the cyborg guys video? So we've got 3 on the side, and then we want 3 in the top, both tops. double check that. We've got 3 in the side, 3 in that side, 3 in the top. Here we go. How are we? First will be Fysetc video, then will be Simon for. Second will be meeting them, and the other Richard is not going to. Third is going to be a can comparison. Nice. So you're going to basically hit the ground running with three or 4 videos in one go, or are you gonna? Obviously, you're going to film some of them together, the Fysetc and Cyborg guys, and then release them separately. Okay, so in. Right, so now we need a B extrusion. B extrusion. And this has no holes. That's not going to work, is it? Because it's got to have holes to go on the front. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm thinking of something else. So we want 2 of these in the sides. This is another sort of Doom-esque video. Whoa. Released separately, got the Fysetc Mini Plus phone. It's so reliable. Would like to see side by side can by separate 2.4. I mean, you can get the Fysetc do their can stuff for the Spider 2.4 anyway. I'm going to be upgrading mine with the Big Tree Tech stuff at some point. So are those 4 nuts going in the bottom? Reload the nuts into the bottom facing channel. The skirt will mount to them. Cool. 4. Are you talking about in terms of as it is now, deeply 999? As long as the right cable is used for the cables in the cable chain, and that the cable is secured correctly in the cable chain. So what you want to basically do is secure it at both ends so that it can't rub backwards and forwards. And as long as they're the right cable, which the wire loom on the sideboard on the 2.4 was, you should be okay. It shouldn't. You shouldn't lose any cable. Right, so that's going to go there. Front just sits. Yep. 4 of them. Yep. Right, now we've got to check some nuts now. So how does it expect me to check these? So let's turn this. So we've got 2, 4, 4, 4. Yep. At the top, and then the top we've got 2, 3, and 3. Yep. And then 3 at the bottoms. We've got 2 in there. And then we need to check the back. For the back, we've got one at the top, 2 in there, and then 3 in each of them. Yep. Cool. So I've probably missed a lot of the chat there. I definitely will plan to stream it or to record it in some way. The only problem with, I've watched other people do can. I would probably need to get my head around it first, and I may even do it and then take it off and then when I stream it, I've already done it once. The extrusions. And then these should have holes in all 4 corners at the bottom, and then 1 at the top. So, yeah. Cool. This one. Which tool wood are you using at the moment, James? In the 2.4, it's just a 2-piece stealth burner tool board. Although at the moment the stealth burner LEDs aren't even wired up, because I would have had to have run extra cable in the cable chain and I couldn't be bothered. One or 2 bits. It's a 2-piece board. So I can take the front off and then with a separate PCB on, and then there's one in the tool head that it plugs into. Try and work out why this is not. Let's get this cable out of the way. So I might have screwed that one in a bit far. Lay this down so I can. Just want to poke that out of the way for a minute. Right, I think this one needs to go in a bit. And this one probably needs to go in a bit. There we go. Tighten these down a bit. Oh, you idiot. Forgot to make sure the blind hole was the right way around. Yeah, okay, I'll have to check that. I know when Steve Build's done his on stream, he put his in the cable chain. But yeah, I will have to check to see if it is rated. Just trying to get this to line up without likes to pull the extrusion as well at the same time. Let's tighten these up. Right, let's try and get this to line up. Okay. We're definitely making progress. So that is basically in terms of the manual, we've done the part labeled frame, which is what I wanted to do today. So I think I'm probably going to stop today for now. So that's two and a half hours, which is a pretty good stream. I think everything worked out really well. I want to make a few tweaks to colors of text and size of text so I can read it. But I think cameras and everything worked quite well. We've obviously got a bit of music in the background, which I've got as well, which I could probably turn up a bit, which won't affect you, but it means I can hear it a bit better. So yeah, I think we'll call that a day, and then next week we basically start on the A and B drive. Because I've still got to print some parts for that anyway, so that's why it'll be better to stop now. So yeah, if anyone wants to ask any questions, Nick saying looks good, thank you very much. Deeply 909, great, looks great watching, thank you. Lars, have a nice Sunday, you too, and everyone else. Excellent. So yeah, thanks for coming along. I'll obviously put the tweet out when I'm going to go live again, but it'll probably be 1 o'clock Sundays. Seem to be a time that works for everyone. So yeah, so I will see you then. Thanks for coming along.